Welcome back to our Satisfactory Let's Play. This is how we ended the last episode. We have over here a concrete factory that is ugly and not optimal. We have over here a wire and cable factory which is once again not so pretty and not optimal, but we had just unlocked Logistic Mark II, which means that now we can upgrade all of the belts and elevators to make those two factories optimum. First of all, in the awesome shop, I was able to buy the conveyor walls so that we can really cleanly plug all of the different elevators into our walls. And I also bought the factory ladder. So with that, I was able to delete all of these ugly ramps that were going up and down. And now we just have a few clean ladders like you can see here. And we've used the normal walls to close this off. I didn't close at the top, I didn't put a roof. We don't really have a roof right now. But this is what we did, and then on top of that we also made those factories perfectly efficient. So if we look into the different buildings, they should always all be at 100% productivity. You see 100% productivity, let's check over here, 100% productivity, and on top it should be the same too. Even the mine, which is at the beginning of the process, right, is at 100%. So from start to finish, we're using everything at 100%. To do that, we obviously had to move to Mark II belts. This is a Mark II belt. Also over here, we're gonna have Mark II elevators. By the way, you don't have to delete all of your belts and elevators, right? If you press 3 to open your belt and you press E, you'll move to Mark II. And then if you hover over a Mark I belt, you'll see that you can upgrade it. And it's the same for the elevators. The only thing I didn't do was over here to close this last wall to show you a bit how it is. Of course, in the future, we can do much more prettier things, in particular using glass. But for now, that will have to do. So we're just zooming from top to bottom. You can also do it from left to right, of course. And here it is. Now this is a closed block. And we did the same over here on the concrete factory, but there was also another change. I don't know why, because I went back actually to my recording and I could see in the recording this saying limestone pure, and now it says limestone normal. So super strange, but indeed when you look at it, it says 60. So it's not a pure one, it's a normal. This one over here is a pure one. So instead of making 240, we're making 180, which is actually perfect for 4 of these on top. So that's what we've done, and of course that also required a couple of different belts. In particular, this one over here is level 2, this one is level 1. So this is level 2, 45 going over here, 45 going over here, and that's 90, and that means we have 30 left going this side. And similarly over here we have 60 coming, so you have 45 going over here, so you have 15 left. And therefore 15 plus 30, this is exactly 45, which means again this is 100% efficiency. As long as the electricity, my fuse just broke right now, it will work perfectly. And therefore this is getting a lot fuller, a lot quicker. And you may have realized that I've also changed the color. This is now sort of whitish. Over here I've put this in a pinkish. This one is a standard color. This is also something we unlocked in the last episode, where if you press X, you'll unlock your customizer. You have over here the sort of standard. If I change that, this is going to change all of the standard that I've used, but we also over here have 15 different ones. And in particular, this one over here is the one I've used for this factory. It's not like you have to use one for each factory, but you can if you want, and you can also change those colors, right? You can put whatever you want as a color. This will work. And in the future we'll also unlock different foundation and walls, but this is in the awesome shop. So anyway, with that we basically completed the first 2 objectives that I set for us in this episode. The first one being that concrete factory just above me, and then that copper factory we just looked at. Now, as I said, my fuse just blew, so I want to get us a bit more power before we get into the iron plates and reinforced factory. But now, unfortunately, something very annoying happened is I have the full recording for the episode, but there was no sound. My microphone went through an update and then it wasn't linked to OBS anymore. So what we're gonna do is, unfortunately for this episode, just jump to the end of the episode, because I always save at the beginning and at the end, and then you'll be able to show you everything that I did. But you won't be seeing me building it step by step in this episode. So don't hesitate to also check in the comments if you have any specific questions. I'll do my best to answer for sure. Okay, so here it is. First of all, for the power, we have built a couple more. Now we have 8 over here plus those 2 over there. So we're definitely making a lot more power. The concrete factory over here and my copper one are still the same, but in the back over here, I have built a big one. This is the moment in the game where I just finished building it, so I haven't made it pretty at all. And this way it will also enable me to easily show you how it was made. So first of all, what are we making? Well, if you look at the objective, this is to make iron reinforced plates. But on top of that, we're also going to have a small surplus of normal iron plate. So this is why we have over here those two containers, right? And I think it goes well together. I mean, this is the normal iron plates and this is the reinforced one. And again, as always, this is a 100% productivity factory, meaning I'm using exactly 120 iron and each of the building insides are 100% productivity. And to be precise, this is what you can see over here. We're going to use, as I said, one node, so 120 iron ore per minute. We're going to make 10 reinforced iron plate per minute and 30 normal iron plates. Nothing else, right? Everything else is aligned, everything else has an equilibrium, and of course we also do need some power, basically 80 of power per minute. To do that, we have 4 smelters, right, to create the iron ingots. Then the ingots are going to go both into rods and plates. We're gonna have 2 constructors for the rods and 3 for the plates. And then the rods are going to go into 3 constructors to make screws. Then all of this, the screws and the plates, are going into 2 assemblers, which is the new big building we saw in the last episode to make the reinforced iron plate. Now in terms of the factory, as always, I left myself a good amount of space in between. So this is basically 6 by 8, but you could make it a bit smaller. If we go into the first level over here, you'll see my smelter that are over there. But that's not all. I decided to actually put on the same level some of the smelters and some of the constructors, and you'll see why just now. The key reason is because it's easy equilibrium. It's 1-to-1 for the iron plates, 1-to-2 over here for the rods. So there was no need, to merge all of the ingots and then split them again. It was a lot easier to just say, this is 1 smelter, 1 constructor, 1 smelter, 1 constructor, and over here just 2. So we have a small splitter in the middle. But on the other side, I'm adding everything else. So all of the iron ore is coming from down over here and over there. And then all of the outputs are also going directly into those elevators. So let's see down what is actually happening. We have over here all of the iron that's coming, elevator, of course, level 2, going to Mark II belt, right? And then it starts to be split. There's the first one that's going over here and all the other smelters are over there. Then in terms of the roads, that's easy, right? We're making 2 roads, so I'm merging them, going into this, and that's going to go into this first elevator over here. Then over here, this is slightly more complex. We have those 3 constructors upstairs, right? They're making 20 plates each, so that's 60. I'm merging them into over here, that gets into 60. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split it. So there's 30 over here and 30 over there. If you remember, 30 is actually the excess iron plate that we have. So this is my excess, is actually going a bit around, all the way around. And this is a long belt, but this is to be able to just put it in the front because it goes at the end into this one just over here. And then the other iron is going into this other elevator there. So if we look outside, we can indeed see those 2 elevators going up. So let's follow to see what's happening. Remember right now, this is rods and iron plates, normal iron plates. So first is going to go into a couple more constructors to transform the rods into screws. Alright, so this is what we're doing over here. We have 3 of them. And then those screws and iron plate need to go into 2 of those big assemblers. Alright, iron plates and screws to make the reinforced plates. So the reinforced plates, this is the output over here, and then the input is on the other side. All of the lifts are level 1 because this is 60 and 30, so all good there. Now if we jump into that layer, that logistic layer, let's see what is happening. So over here, this is the roads, right? This is the roads that are coming, and therefore we start splitting it into the 3 different constructors. Perfect. And then they're going to make screws, right? They're making screws on this one, and that one. So this is what I'm doing over here. I'm merging, and this is the output. Then the output is going to split between those 2 assemblers, right? We have the first assembler over there and the first assembler over there. And then something a bit smart is that you have the elevator for the screw on that side. You turn the elevator for the other input, so in this case the iron plate, on the other side, right? This way you don't have to go into a second level, you do one on one side, one on the other. That's what the iron plates are doing, right? They're coming from this elevator there, up, and then split between this one and that one. And then over here we have our two outputs for the iron plates, right, that get merged over here and then go down and down all the way down into the storage. So here it is, this is a 100% productivity, reinforced concrete and iron plate factory using one pure node. As I said, don't hesitate if you have any questions, any thoughts, I'd love to hear about them. And of course, before the next episode, I will clean it up, put walls everywhere, a few ladders that are well placed so that you can access each levels. Remember, I still haven't unlocked in the Ocean shop any doors or anything like this, so for now we don't really have a choice. Then, as I'm sure you've realized, my electricity has tripped again because I'm out of resources, or some of them are out of resources, so I need to go collect even more. This is definitely one problem, and definitely why I want to start finishing, tier 2 as soon as possible, start moving to tier 3, which will require the elevator, so that we can start using coal power. That will definitely help a lot in the future. On the other hand, to finish jump pads, we're gonna need rotors. So in the next episode, let's make a rotor specific factory. I hope you will like it. If you like this episode, even if I know it was a bit shorter, I didn't show you everything step by step, don't hesitate to smash the like button, and I do hope to see you next time. Or don't hesitate to check on the channel for other videos on simulation, city building games. I have a lot, in particular Anno 1800, but also many other games. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.